Hello and welcome. I am super excited that you are here because hopefully, if you are watching this video, it is for a multitude of reasons, but I'm hoping it's one of two. The first being that you're part of my D&D campaign entitled The Blood Realms of Velarax, or the second being that you would like some more background on my homebrew world. Either way, welcome. The Blood Realms of Velarax is being run out of my Discord. It is called Vespes, and you can find the link to it hopefully in the description of this video, but if not, it is a command that you can use anytime on my Twitch channel under the same name of Scarlet Vespera. Before I delve into this, I would like to give you a couple supporting details on how this realm works, how this planet works, how the world here works. You can think of it as a second Earth. It runs in a lot of the ways that Earth runs, with the basic structures of gravity being the same. It has the same laws that Earth does. However, it is across a multitude of different times. And what I mean by that is, do you remember the Old West, the Old Wild West? Well, sure, that would be here. But you would also get the future or Victorian-esque settings. You would get a multitude of different periods of time. You would get different developmental stages for, be it countries, continents, or realms in this case. In a lot of the ways that we have third world countries, or we have countries that are not as developed as others, you can expect that to be in Velarax. However, these do not span, 100 to 50 years. The advancements can span over hundreds or even thousands of years, depending on where you are going. This is also designed to be open world. It is giving the players complete creative control and forging the world as they see fit. They get to determine what the outcome is for essentially the whole world. Will it collapse? Will it crumble? Will the adventurers choose to live out their days as they wish? Or do they want to fight for a bigger cause? Do they want to sacrifice to save a world that may or may not be worth saving? That is up to them. In the beginning, it will feel very railroady, and that is just a necessary evil. I don't mean to railroad my characters, and I'm going to try my best to not railroad them much, but there is a time and a place, so once we get through that beginning initial railroad and people get comfortable with their characters, we'll be able to have some more open world fun. But I digress. I've written a small background. As I go through this, please understand that your characters do not know the history of Velarax. It would be metagaming to assume that they did. This just provides a bit of background for you, the player, so that you understand what's going on, and it's a bit easier to digest when your characters have to experience it. So, yes, this is metagaming. No, this is not spoilers. And hopefully this will help you understand the world better, maybe prompt questions that can be answered before even getting into the campaign. Velarax is a planet now consisting of 12 realms and a mainland. These realms are considered the Blood Realms on the basis of blood being used as a currency in each. Each realm uses blood to better themselves for different reasons. All beings on Velarax, no matter their blood type, have some sort of arcanic charge. Think about the Earth's core. It is teeming with lava and hot enough to keep the entire planet just warm enough to sustain life. Velarax runs under the same law, except at its core is a swirling pool of the arcane. This arcane, much like lava, provides just enough warmth and magic for life to be sustained. It is this charge that makes blood magical and invigorating. Unfortunately, over time, spoiled blood began to breed numerous plagues that spread over a millennia, pillaging races and plundering crops. These widespread plagues caused Velarax to be in a state of emergency. The once self-sufficient planet began to crumble, losing its pride, losing its unity, and creating a further divide between the rich and the poor. Something had to be done, and so in an effort to contain the plagues, mages, sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards alike were called to action. Together, they combined their powers to send off each plague, banishing it to its own realm. These magical beings, who formed the sanctum of the Arcanite and were later deemed the Arcanites, called upon the power of the weave, the gifts and pardons of patrons, and numerous other magical sources to create and seal off such realms. However, what they didn't account for was the vast amount of energy it took to keep each realm closed. In their efforts, the Arcanites were successful, but unbeknownst to them, each of these realms would begin to take their own autonomous form over centuries. They would create their own civilizations, customs, factions, and militias. They would resent their untimely banishment and hold their anger for generations to come, feeling abandoned by those they once called family. Each realm prospered as the mainland of Velarax, the once open and connected community, became more and more shut off. No one could fathom the amount of races, classes, languages, and cultures lost. Eventually, the once great and magical beings that sealed off these realms became drained of their power. Over time, the energy demand from the realms had been simply too much for the group, and resulted in speeding up their aging process and draining the arcane out of every fiber of their being. As each being, one by one, died off, the power to keep the realms shut started to shatter. Each realm cracked and began to form its own opening, letting loose the hell that once threatened the mainland. Now, beings of every realm that felt cut off and shut out by the mainland began to seep back in. 12 realms teeming with life, all unique in their own ways and forced to be self-sufficient, had to grasp with coming home, if they could even consider Velarax home anymore. It was not a welcomed reunion. The threat of diseases that had been eradicated for centuries was now going to be reintroduced to the common people. 12 realms were now fighting for control of the mainland. Corruption and battle came out once more. The mainland, once a life force for all beings of Velarax, was once again beginning to die. Unfortunately, that is all I have now for my development for Velarax. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to post more on the religions, factions, militias, deities, and different fun things that are within Velarax. Maybe not as narrative, but definitely more in depth. Anyways, I will see you next time.